Well, first of all, tell me a little bit about your background. You played with Copeland. What was playing with Copeland like?
Oh, that was great. Yeah, I did that for a long time.
Okay. How'd you hook up with him? How'd you meet him?
I met Johnny in Europe, actually. He just got finished with Africa. And then I had seen him at a couple of shows, but I started with him in 1990.
Okay.
Because the bass player was a friend of mine. Him and I did a lot of shows together with a lot of cats out of Chicago.
What was his name?
Randy Lippincott.
Yeah, I know Randy.
Yeah. So Randy called me up, and Johnny needed a guitar player in the show in Philly.
Okay.
So I went down and filled in that night, and then Johnny asked me to join the band. So I said, yeah, well, all right. So
that's great.
And I was with him for about for 7 years.
Oh, that's great.
Up until he passed on.
Yeah. So tell me about this thing with Linwood. You have, is this like a battle of the bands? He says it's sort of a chance for you guys to get together and maybe save some time.
Linwood and
rehearsals.
We've been good friends for over 20 years.
Okay.
And we've been playing together and known each other, for that long. So we've done this like 3 times now. It's our 3rd time.
Okay.
It's not a battle of the bands. It's just an opportunity for us both to get together and play together.
I see.
So we'll do a set now, and then at the end of the night we'll get together and we'll jam together.
Okay.
So that'll be like the highlight of the night when we both get on stage together.
Now, do you guys? I mean, do you have sort of? How would you describe how would you compare your guitar styles? Are they?
Linwood?
Yeah.
We're both totally different, actually. We both play blues, but we both have a different approach. Everybody has their own thing,
Right.
I love Linwood's approach, and I think he loves mine. We've been, like I said, we've been friends for so long, and we've played together for so long. So this is an opportunity for us to get together, and it's really nice. The old Bowie supports this, and allows us to happen.
Right. Now tell me what you have going right now you have tours coming up. You're coming out with a new album. What's happening with that?
We're working on a new record right now. We're about halfway through. I just signed with High Tone Music Group, and tomorrow we're in Wilmington, Delaware. Sunday we're at the Sellersville Theater with Coco Montoya. So we just keep on moving, trying to do the best we can.
Okay. So you're a D.C. area guy, right?
No, I'm from New York.
Oh, okay.
The bass player is from down here.
Okay.
He lives in Brooklyn.
Oh, I see.
And Everett's been with me about 15 years now.
Okay.
And this is his roots down here. He's from Chevrolet.
I see. Oh, so I understand that a park is named after his father?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
You'd have to ask him more about that, but yeah, Boyd is his last name, Everett Boyd.
Okay.
Mark Capel on drums.
Okay.
Mark's been with me about 13 years. But Linwood is also from really close around here too.
Right, PG County, I know.
I met Linwood over 25 years ago, through Caesar.
Oh, okay.
And I was working with Eddie Kirkland back then.
Right.
So I would be playing down here in D.C. with Eddie.
Right.
And Caesar had a shop down in D.C. and that's when I first met Linwood. And we started playing together. Ever since then, we've been friends. So.
I see. Now, you brought up Eddie Kirkland. Tell me a little bit about. Tell me what it was like to work with him.
Eddie was great. He kind of took me under his wing. I worked with him 6 years. And then whenever he was up in the Northeast, my band, we would back him up.
Right.
If we went to Thailand with him, we did a lot of things with Eddie, even after Johnny died.
Right.
So up until Eddie passed, he just recently passed, terrible car accident.
Oh yeah.
But working with him was great. I did a lot of things with him that were like playing together just acoustically, and traveled around with him all throughout the South. He was located in Kingston, New York when I met him.
Okay.
And I'm from Port Jervis, New York.
Right.
So I saw him play a lot locally up that area.
Right.
Back in the late 70s.
Okay.
So I actually then hooked up with him in Florida. Ran into him down there. And that's when he asked me if what I was doing, and I said nothing. So he said, "Come on, I need somebody." So the two of us traveled around just playing acoustic for a while.
Oh, okay.
And trying to book gigs because Eddie was trying to get his career started again.
Okay.
And then we got a band together. We finally found some local guys down there in that area. Because Eddie had a band in New York, he had a band in Florida.
Right.
Because of his health, he had some experimental surgery done after his accident, he had gotten a shot, you know,
right,
on stage.
Okay.
So he had some tubes for drainage, and that the cold weather messed with him.
Okay.
So he had to spend the winters down south. So
Wow.
he sort of used Florida and Georgia. He has family in Georgia and family in Detroit, but Georgia was his base, and Florida was his base during the wintertime.
Now you brought up something I have to admit I wasn't familiar with. You mentioned he got shot.
Yeah.
How did that happen?
Somebody came into a club and was shooting a gun off. You know, was firing caps, and a ricochet bullet came.
Right.
And it entered into his head, and,
wow.
it spun around and came out back of behind his ear.
Okay.
And so it was luckily it was a ricochet, and they weren't shooting at him. It was
Right.
just a bum luck thing. So Johnny Winter and Foghat and a lot of the rock and roll bands up in New York City put together a huge benefit for him, and to have the surgery done, to have these drainage tubes put in for him.
Wow. When did this happen?
It happened in early 70s, I believe.
Early 70s. Wow.
Yeah. Late 60s, early 70s, yeah.
Do they know why this guy was shooting a gun in the
No,
club?
you know, who knows? Somebody just went off, you know, came in shooting up a gun. You know, Eddie had a hard life, you know. He used to talk a lot about being on the road with Hooker and, you know, the stuff he did with Bobby Marchand, and he was like he did a lot of reviews. You know, he was in the house with the band that backed up everybody. You know, him and Charles Otis on drums, and and Charles being out of New York City too. You know, we used to do a lot of shows together up in New York, the old Tramps and the Lone Star. That was on 3rd and Irving, and you know, there was a lot of clubs in New York back then.
Yeah,
a lot of clubs, you know.
Way back in the day.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Well, the Reds kind of put everybody out, you know. The Reds got so high, but there was a great New York City. The scene of New York City was fabulous, you know, for many years.
Wow, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Bobby, listen, thank you so much for